Hello friendos, it's Bella from the Bookish Badger, and today I'm coming at you guys with my 2019 reading goals. So, starting off with amount of books that I would like to read. In 2018, I set my Goodreads reading goal to 35 books, and I ended up reading 59 books. So this year I upped it by quite a bit, and I set it to 50 books. I would like to at least reach that amount. If I read more, great, but if I just read that amount, I'd be okay too. But, you know, secretly, in my deepest heart of hearts, I would love to read more than 59 because it seems every year, at least since I've had, you know, Goodreads and I've been able to track this stuff, I've been on an upwards swing for the amount that I've read, both in pages and number of books. So I would love to keep that up ideally, but if I can't, I would still love to read just 50 books this year. Something that I started to do reading-wise in 2018 and I would love to continue to do in 2019 is to continue trying to read all of the books off of the PBS 100 Great American Reads list. So I talked about this quite a bit in my previous video, which if you have not seen, I will link in the description box down below. But basically, PBS this summer had this series called The Great American Read. And what it was a compiled list voted on by Americans as the 100 best loved books. The reason I wanted to take on this project of reading all 100 is because I figure it can always be a conversation piece, as in this list is very diverse. It's got everything from 50 Shades of Grey to War and Peace, from The Hunger Games to Don Quixote. It's got modern, it's got old, it's got all sorts of genres and writing styles and all that jazz. So what I figure is that whoever I come across in my life will have read at least one of the books on this list, whether it was for pleasure, whether it was for school, whatever. So it will always be something that I can talk about with somebody like, hey, you read this book? Why? I read this book too. Isn't that neat? What did you think of it? And so on and so forth. So when I found this list, I had happened to have already read 11 books on the list, and throughout 2018 I read more and more, and by the end I had finished on having read 26 books total from the list. And I have a printed physical copy and everything that is pretty beat up, and it's kind of crumbled and water stained in places and everything, but it's got, you know, my check marks and all that, so it's a really great tool to keep track of what I've read and what I haven't. I've been doing physical reading for this, I've been doing audiobook reading for this, and it's introduced me to some really great reads, and it's introduced me to a couple that I certainly won't be revisiting at any time ever, but that's what's great about it, is that it's filled with gems and it really opens up my reading. And I know that there is no chance in heckety heck that I would ever be able to finish this book this year, because like I said, I've got 74 books left to read from this list, so that's just not happening that I'm reading the rest of them this year. But I'd like to, you know, keep making progress on it, and it's definitely not something that's going to be finished quickly, but it's something that I want to do. And my other biggest reading goal of the year isn't exactly reading, but it is reading related because it regards Booktube. In 2019, I would love to get back into the swing of Booktube between watching other people's videos and creating my own content. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but somewhere around early mid 2018, I really fell off the posting wagon. And with that, I started watching and commenting a lot less. I would love for that trend to not continue in 2019. I really love talking to you guys, and I like filming, and I like commenting and watching and all that. So I don't know what happened in 2019 for all of that to just like stop for me, but I want it to be unstopped. Sure. Unstopped. Now, just with my schedule between work and school and everything, I don't know that I'll be able to get back into a regular weekly posting schedule, but I would really prefer to it to not be, you know, months and months and months between videos like it had been for mid to late 2018. And I've got so many things planned. You know, I use my trusty handy dandy journal over there to write out all my video plans and all that, and I've already got a ton written out and planned out and all that jazz. And I've got just so many cool bookish things going on this year, between things like the Great American Read List, and I'm going to BookCon this year. Like, how exciting is that? I'm just so pumped for the reading things to come and the Booktube things to come this year. Now, I would like to take a moment of silence for my 2018 reading goals. I will leave that video. I made a 2018 reading goals video last year, and I will leave that linked down below. But let me just read to you what my 2018 reading hopes were. You know, 35 books, I already said that I surpassed that, so that was great. But there were some other things that I just didn't get to in the year. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself, but I'm also kind of okay with it because, like I said, I did thoroughly enjoy the reading year that I had, but I wanted to do things like finish all the series that I was in the middle of, which I did not do. I finished the 2 series that I was currently in the middle of when I filmed that video, and I didn't finish any other series. Like, I wanted to finish the Anne of Green Gables series, and I wanted to finish the Young Elite series, and what were the other ones I had here? The Percy Jackson series. Oh, forget about that. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. None of those. I didn't touch any of those. Another thing that I wanted to do was diversify the type of reading I did. Like, I wanted to read more poetry and graphic novels and things like that, like the format of reading I was doing. I read a couple graphic novel series. Like I said, I read, in my previous video, I read the Scott Pilgrim. That was great. And that's, I think, it for graphic novels, and I didn't read any poetry collections, so... And, wanted to participate in more readathons. I participated in one readathon this year, that's right, and that was Booktubeathon, and then that was it. And I wanted to do collabs with my brother, Professor Q. Can you believe how long we've both had channels now? We've both had channels for like a year. I've had it for a little more than a year, and Q has had it for a year. And we still have not filmed one freaking collab together. That is ridiculous. That I want to make another goal for this year is, come on. We need collabs between me and Q. We just do. This is unacceptable. That needs to change this year. So yeah, moment of silence for failed goals that were in 2018, but let's hope for better things in 2019. It's a new year with different goals, so we're gonna see how it goes, and I am hopeful. Alright, that is pretty much it for this video. I would love to hear from you guys what you thought of it, what your 2019 reading goals are, if you've got any similar or drastically different from me, what your 2018 reading goals were and how you did on those, and how you want to do differently in 2019. I don't know any of it, all of it. Please leave it in a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, do not hesitate to give it a thumbs up. Do not hesitate to subscribe for more content coming soon, and I will see you in the next video. Bookish Badger, signing off.